Did you know that 60% of real estate investors quit within their first year of trying to get this business to work for them? Do not be a casualty. In today's training video, I'm going to show you how you can be one of the lucky souls that actually goes out, builds wealth, and creates freedom for yourself and your family. If you're interested in that kind of thing, pay attention. Hey, what's up, clever investors? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sperber here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to actually win in this business. I've been coaching people for the last 12 years. There's some technical things that you need to know, but more importantly, there's some personal development mindset stuff that you absolutely have to have, or you're going to be like those unfortunate souls that start in this business. They see the path. They have the roadmap. They maybe even invest in courses or they go to events. I see this all the time. I have events with 7,000, 8,000 people in them. And one of the first things I tell them is, listen, out of all of you guys, 99 out of 100 of you is going to quit this business. That's the fall off rate. Like, people quit this business all the time. And it's not because real estate doesn't work. It's not because it's not a good path to financial freedom. In fact, it's the most proven path to financial freedom. It's not because marketing's too hard or the market's too bad or Joe Biden or the politics, none of that stuff. The only thing that stops you is the 6 inches of real estate between your ears. This stuff works, and let's talk about how to make it work for you so that way you don't quit this business too early. So first off, yes, there is some technical stuff that you're going to have to know. This is why people come to me and get training. This is why you're going to want to click one of the links down below. Either get the free training if you're broke and you don't have 2 nickels to rub together, or take some of my courses. These are step-by-step roadmaps from my business that I'm actually giving you, proven systems that work. You're going to want to click one of those links because there's some technical things that you have to know. The language of real estate, it takes a while to learn it. There's skills and capabilities you got to learn. You got to learn how to generate leads. There is probably 50 to 100 lead gen strategies. Out of all of those, there's probably 10 that I do over and over and over that generate the majority of my leads. So there's a lot of noise out there, and there's certain things that actually work. But you got to generate leads because, listen, this isn't the field of dreams. If you build a nice website, if you set up your business and post a couple things on social media, nobody's going to call you. Nobody's coming to give you opportunities or to give you their house. You have to go out there and hunt those opportunities down. That's the lead gen side of things. Then there's the conversion side of things. You got to know how to talk to people, how to get on the phones, whether it's on the phones or in person, how to actually gather the info. There's certain questions you have to ask in order to pull the information out of a seller, pull the information out of a buyer, pull the information out of a realtor, so that way you know what information to gather, so that way you can figure out if you have a deal or a dud. And speaking of that, most people don't know how to comp a property. They just go to Zillow, and if Zillow tells them the house is worth $250,000, that's their assumption of the value of the property. Zillow's not always right. And you need to know how to comp properties. You need to know how to comp properties quickly. Being able to look down a street and understand price per square foot of every single house, the 2 stories, the 1 stories, the big ones, the little ones, the ones with pools, the one with garages, comping properties is a skill. You're going to have to comp hundreds and hundreds of properties before you dial this in. Something you need to know. Then you need to know how to make offers. There's not just one way to make an offer. If you're working really hard, maybe even spending money to generate leads, and you don't know how to convert those leads because the only tool in your tool belt is a hammer, but this particular deal doesn't take you clubbing it over the head. It takes a screwdriver, it takes a wrench, it takes a different tool. Making offers comes in many different sizes. You can make a cash offer. That is an assignment. You can make a cash offer. That ends up being a double close. You can maybe make a creative terms offer. This is a whole world within itself. One of the links down below is to my free house formula. That's all we talk about in the free house formula training is how to do creative offers. Think about this. If I roll up to a seller and they're not motivated and they're stuck on price, we're going to shift over to making them a terms offer. That's a subject to transaction, a wraparound mortgage, maybe a contract for deed, something like that, seller finance, where they carry back the paper. That's all in the world of creative. So cash offers up here, creative over here. What if my intention is not to flip the property and get paid quickly? What if my intention is to actually make a bigger payday. I want to close on the deal. I want to renovate it. I want to add some square footage. I want to relist it on the MLS and sell it for a big payday. Rehabbing it's a whole nother offer making strategy, because you have to really dial in the comp, and you really have to understand your how to estimate repairs if you're going to end up rehabbing the property. There's listing and novation. Some people don't want a cash offer. They're not going to take a discount from retail. They're not that motivated. Some people will not feel comfortable allowing you to take over their mortgage, or for them to be your bank and trust you that you're going to make the payments. Some people want to list it on the MLS. Some people want to do something called a novation. Novations are super hot right now. We do tons of novations. That's for another training video, but you need to know how to do novations, how to pitch novations, how to lock up novation opportunities. Then once you gather the information, comp the properties, negotiate and make offers, eventually you're going to get to a point where the seller says yes, and you have to fill out the paperwork. Every single one of these contracts is different. And in the world of creative, there's lots of different variations, so you need to know how to fill out paperwork. And then obviously, if you're wholesaling, you need to be able to find a cash buyer, so that way you can flip the property to them. These are landlords and rehabbers. Where do they hang out? How do you talk to them? How do you fill out buy boxes? That's really important if you're going to be wholesaling, to know how to do that. And or if you're going to take the property down as a rental or as a rehab, you need to know how to raise capital, raise money. I can't tell you how many real estate deals I purchased using OPM, other people's money. That's a whole skill set in itself. And then you need to know how to close the deals. Who are the team members involved? How do you find these people? How do you read HUD, closing documents and the HUD 1 statements and all that stuff? You need to know how to do that. So these are all technical things. This is where people get stuck in the education world. They come to me and they buy a course and they're like, Cody, I've gone through this 400 times. I know how to do a double close or an assignment. I know how to fill out the paperwork. I've practiced. I have a logo and a website. Why am I not successful? You're not successful because you're not failing over here. You're actually failing over here. This is where the real work happens. I look back on my career over the last 20 years and I'm like, why me? I was a D student. I smoked weed every day. I was overweight. I had no path. Why me? Nobody would have said, Cody, I was not a valedictorian. I did not have rich parents. I had no successful people around me, no connections. How did I make it out of all of my friends? Well, it's because I started mastering these things. First off, I was constantly self-learning. I was never scared. Well, let me back up. I was scared, but I did it anyway, to get on that plane and go to that event. I forced myself to be in an environment where I was constantly learning. You got to remember, it's so easy for you to learn right now. You have videos like this. You have YouTube University. You have courses that you can buy. You have events that you can easily go to. There's social media. There's mentors on demand, on your phone, in your pocket, access 24/7. Back when I started, no podcast, no YouTube, no social media, nothing. I had to get on a plane, scared, by myself a lot of times, and fly to another state and go to an event. But I was always trying to increase my skills and capabilities. I knew the key to my success was figuring this stuff out and becoming really great so I can move quickly when an opportunity presented itself. I had to work really hard to change my relationship with money. How many people do you know talk a big game? And they're like, I'm gonna be rich. I'm getting into real estate. I'm gonna be rich. The problem with that is they say one thing, but they act a totally different way. I'm gonna be rich, but I'm scared to spend $100 on a course. You know these people, and I feel bad for these people because they get in their own way. I'm gonna be rich, but I'm not gonna put going to that event on my credit card. That's too risky. And it's like, dude, you have the worst relationship with money. My parents used to say the worst things about money. Dad, can I have some? No, what am I made of? Money? Does money grow on trees around here? What do you think? I'm just gonna give you free money? No. So I always had a negative relationship with money. I had to change that. If I was gonna talk about being rich, I had to understand that money loves speed. That if I wanted to go fast, money is attracted to speed, attracted to opportunities, attracted to people with skills and capabilities that understand this stuff, that understand how to sell and persuade and influence. And that comes over time as you dial in your craft. I switched my money relationship. I created a positive relationship with money. Now I love to spend money. God, I love to spend money. I want to spend money on consultants. I want to spend money on hiring team members. I want to spend money on marketing. These things aren't expenses. These are investments into the best thing you can ever invest in, which is you. I changed from in the beginning, I was lazy because I didn't have a path. But once I fell in love with real estate, I'm like, that's my path. And all of a sudden, my enthusiasm raised, my intention raised, and I started taking massive action. Not little action. What's the word that I'm doing? Massive action, big action, bold action. There's so many boring-ass adults out there, they don't take action. They talk a big game, but if anything gets in their way, any life whatsoever, they start playing small all of a sudden. Why? If you want to get rich and break a generational curse and be the one in your family to actually lift up and become free and then set the rest of the generations on that path of freedom, you got to take massive action. You cannot play small. Every single time I started getting that hesitation or that fear, I knew I was doing the right thing. I knew I had to lean in on it and move through it so that way I could continue to take the action. Because when you're taking action, you can screw up a lot, but eventually you're like 3 feet from gold. Eventually you're going to get some wins. And you start stacking small wins, and it's kind of like, you've heard me in other videos, how do you win a 1,000-mile race? One step at a time. And you gain confidence when you take action. Believe in yourself. In the beginning, nobody believed in me. Why do you need other people to believe in you? Why do you need a bunch of cheerleaders cheering you on? You don't. You just need you. You need to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm done playing small. I'm done wasting time. I'm done worrying about other people's opinions. I'm just done. I'm fed up with being broke. I'm fed up with wanting more. I'm fed up with this feeling inside that I know I could be more. I want more joy, more happiness, more control, but I'm not getting it because I'm playing small. No, we're done with that. Believe in yourself, and what's going to happen is you're going to start taking action. You're going to gain more confidence. You're going to start believing in yourself more. Let me tell you, every single successful person I know, every single one, thinks that they are the shit. I believe with all of me, I'm the best at what I do. Hyper successful people, if you ask them, do you believe in yourself? They're going to be like off the charts. That's not narcissistic. That's not ego. That's a ton of, what's the word I'm looking at? Self-efficacy. They really believe they're the bomb.com, and you should too. And even if you're not there yet, as far as skills and capabilities, you can still be there in your mind. Mastering the mundane. This is hard for people. But I thought real estate was always fun. I thought it was always cupcakes and rainbow. No, it's a bunch of little things done consistently over a long period of time. I call it mastering the mundane. If you can't do the boring work, why do you get to go in front of the bank and cash the check and get the big reward? Think about any successful sports hero of yours. How many times did they swing that bat? How many times did they run that play? How many times did they do that thing over and over and over when nobody was looking? That's mastering the mundane. Putting in the reps. Surround yourself with winners. I can't tell you how important this is, especially nowadays. Social media, everybody's got a freaking opinion. Your family's got opinions. Strangers have opinions. You already know. I don't really have to beat this up. You know it's inputs and outputs. If you have a bunch of negative crap going in your inputs, you're going to have negative coming in your outputs. If you're surrounded with a bunch of lazy people, you're going to be lazy. If you're surrounded with a bunch of winners, you're going to be a winner. That's just the way it works. And for me, how do you get in the right room? You buy your way in. You cut a check and you join a mastermind. You go to an event. You join a club. You just force yourself to be in that environment. And in the beginning, it's awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. But eventually, you start feeling more and more comfortable and just assimilate in with the winners. I've bought my way into big boy circles many times. $20,000, $25,000, $100,000 checks I've cut in order to join the good old boys club. Trust me, it's worth it. Avoid negativity. This kind of goes with positive relationship type stuff. This kind of goes with believing in yourself, surrounding yourself with winners. I mean, you got to avoid negativity at all costs. Winners have a bounce back spirit. We don't stay in that negative, toxic, woe is me place very long. I'll give you some permission right now. You could do it for a day. But then tomorrow when you wake up, get on the right side of the bed and get back to positive thoughts, positive, massive action. Don't stay there in that negative place. Move your body. Health is wealth. You know all this stuff. I can't tell you every single time I'm feeling negative for any length of time, I go to the gym, I go for a walk, I drink lots of water, I physically change my physiology, and I avoid negativity at all costs. Sorry, if you're negative, I love you, but I can't be around you. You just got to cut these people off. And this is the most important one. I'm going to leave you with this. Don't quit. You are 3 feet from gold. I know at times how it can feel overwhelming. I know that life gets in the way. Last week, I had one of the most horrible things ever happened to me, and my mother lost her battle to cancer. 12 years battling CLL. It was devastating. Our whole family is disrupted. It was the hardest thing I have ever gone through, ever. Life is always going to happen. You're going to have money problems. You're going to have health problems. You're going to have relationship problems. You're going to have things that you pay for that don't work out, right? But just remember, this business works. If you believe in yourself, you know that you deserve more. You know you're going to be able to be the person that when you close your eyes and you think, yes, you can. You can be that person. As long as you do the consistent hard work to get yourself there. But don't quit. If you allow life to get in your way, if you allow other people to steer your ship, you're going to be one of those casualties. I started this video off by saying, 60% of people bail. It probably is higher than that. It might be 80. But the reality is you get to choose which group you're in. Are you going to be the one out of 100 that stands up and says, you know what, I did draw that line in the sand. I am not going to quit. I want this that bad. I'm willing to fight through the pain, and I'm willing to get strong. I'm willing to gain the skills and capabilities. I'm willing to have a positive relationship with money. I'm willing to invest. And then guess what's going to happen? A year, 2 years, 5 years from now, we're going to meet. And you're not going to be at one of my events. You're going to be sitting at the same table as me because you're going to be successful. And successful people sit at the same table. We're all going to be hanging out. There's so much room over here. Come join me. You're going to love it, but don't quit. You'll never make it here with a loser's attitude. Don't stay there. Bounce back and keep it moving. You got this. All right? I don't have anything else. Hopefully this video inspired you a little bit. Yes, there's technical stuff, but this is way more important in my opinion. So make sure you're doing these things along with these things, and you're going to be super successful and hanging out with me before you know it. All right. If I can help you in any way, click one of the links down below, grab some of my training, and until next time, I'm out of here. Take care. Comb your hair. Peace.